PBS is positive behavior support, and that means that in a school when so many people are around, it's just a system for us to talk to everybody in the same language and be positive about it.
And changing that yelling and screaming at each other to more of a tone of how can we improve and help each other understand what the rules are. But then when we asked everyone, what do you really expect from our kids? What do you expect from our staff? Well, everyone could remember the 4 things. And we put it in the acronym for CAR. Being caring person, to care for each other. To be academically involved. That means teachers teaching, students learning. And then to be able to be respectful to each other, because we have all of these countries that are represented. We have 75 different countries represented here. And we can always find the diversity. And we could always find the differences, but we wanted a common ground.
So not only did we have to change the students' behavior to follow those expectations, be safe, be respectful, and responsible, but also the teachers we had to change our behavior too, in the way that we interacted with the children and become more positive. Because now instead of just looking for, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're bringing out that, wow, you're really being respectful, wow, you're really being responsible, wow, you're really being safe.
As a teacher, this is my 30th year, and when PBS became our buzzword for the way we were going to take care of discipline, I kind of rolled my eyes and said, oh, here we go again, because I remember assertive discipline, and I remember this or that or the other program that was the way to go. So I was a little skeptical. And through the past couple of years, I've changed my attitude towards PBS. A couple of the things that I really like about it are the reward systems for students who don't cause trouble. The 80% of kids that come to school every day and do their work, they now feel they're important, and that's great as far as I'm concerned.
We just simply can't do this work one kid at a time. We have many kids coming to our neighborhood schools from different backgrounds, some that are ready to learn, some that are not, and so we recognize that there just are better ways to do things. We've taken some of the best ideas from special education and from effective schools research, and we realize we can make consistent environments for kids that are predictable and where kids know the expectations, where we're able to reward kids for meeting those expectations, and we've just had amazing results.
We had 100% of our staff, when we did our initial vote, say that this is something that they thought was important and that they wanted to do. We have new staff members who've come each year that we've been at Monroe, and they have had good buy-in, because it's almost embarrassing. This is very logical. It makes total sense. What makes more sense than saying that you need to teach a child something before you expect them to do it? And what makes more sense than to say that if you've got 500 and some odd children in a building, that we're going to have more success with them if we're all speaking the same language? It's a hard concept to argue with.
So at the beginning of every school year at Lacey, we realized that we need to teach our students how to behave. And so in that first week of school or so, we have what we call an expectation expo. And during that time, we take our students around to every station, every common area in our school, and we teach them, depending on what area they're in, what the behavior expectations are. So we actually have a demonstration for the kids to look at, because we are in the computer lab, about how they should not use the computers. But then actually how it demonstrates how somebody is sitting there using the computers appropriately. Just another reinforcement for them to know what's expected of them.
And in the box is a word, very angry. I want you to draw a picture of very angry. Remember, I want your partners to be using positive words.
They come into the library. This is the area where they would sit with the teacher reading them a story, and so it's really the perfect area for them to see these visual reminders about what's expected of them in the library. They can look at the posters and listen to the teacher at the same time. So again, we have our 4 Husky expectations right there for them to see, and we have our expectations for specifically the library. So they know what to do explicitly. They know that acting safely means to walk in the library. It means to line up when class is over. and it means to keep your body to yourself. That's acting safely.
At the beginning of the year, we are taught the common area expectations. And so then as a teacher, as we travel throughout the building, we can ask the children to follow the steps of success by being safe in the hallways. In our classroom, we talk about following the steps of success by building community, being friends with one another. Are they caring for property? Are they being safe?
Virgil? Oh, Virgil. Try it again. You walk up to take the tray, put your spoon in the thing. Walk over to the line.
Thank you for walking. You did a good job. And watch me, and then we're going to do it together. When you go to the sink, you're going to turn on the water. Watch me. You're going to get 1 pump of soap, and you're going to wash it. 1 pump.
When you look at something like PBIS, we forget that students don't always come to us ready to learn and ready to do the right things in terms of behavior. Even though that evidence is right in front of us and we see it every day, we often don't take the time to teach it. We just simply say, do this, and we punish, or there's consequences for not doing it. And what we found this year is that by actually taking the time to do a expo and to teach our expectations to the students, and then to do that as a review during the year, that's made a big difference in our culture here at the school. Kids get it. It doesn't take long. As a disciplinarian, I get to just kind of say, do you remember? And they do, and then we go on from there in the conversation.
We've had a member of our team begin leadership opportunities for both 5th and 6th graders, and that's really transformed our school. If you were to spend any time in our building, you would see students with bright orange slashes helping on the playground, helping at lunchtime, helping in classrooms, and so we've gone past just expecting adults to be part of helping our kids learn the behavior and skills we want them to have, and we're asking our students to do that, and they've responded in a big way.
We have seen an incredible improvement in student office referral data, anywhere from 25% to 40% over the first year, and we anticipate sustaining that.
One of the schools I walked in, and there was this one student and a custodian walking by, and they didn't know that I'm there, and I watched this thing right in front of my eyes, that the custodian was giving this student a positive behavior ticket. And there was this big smile on the face of this child, and the custodian felt very good about that, and it was a beautiful opportunity for me to observe and watch and thank the custodian that he is becoming part of the support system for our students.
And what it's done in our school district, it's created a systematic and consistent way to provide students with the set of rules and guidelines they need to actually engage in learning. It frees up our principals to be instructional leaders, it frees up our teachers to teach, and it frees up our students to learn.
So rather than being punitive, rather than making them feel bad for not living up to things, we're really trying to encourage them to do these positive behaviors in a positive way.
Congratulations on your excellence referral. You are being recognized for consistently following the Mustang motto. Way to go!
Can I let you know that Miles was awarded today for getting an excellence referral for consistently demonstrating our Mustang motto? Yay! That's right. He's the 10th student to be recognized at Meadows. We'll say his name on the morning announcements, and we hope you'll celebrate him at home tonight as well.
The thing that I think has been most successful is we implemented school-wide goals of success tickets, and at certain points of the year, if we reach the school-wide goal, then the students got to see the staff do a fun activity like a minute to win it, or we had an obstacle course relay last week.
And then the year went on, and went on, and went on.
And we kept getting more and more and more success tickets for following the Mustang motto. And the next thing I know, I had a tub that looks like this. Those were highly successful. I was amazed at how the kids loved to work toward that goal. They'd always ask me, how close, how much further to our goal? So they were really into that.
And the one thing we added to let the kids know where they were at in terms of their goal is Denise set up a thermometer, a goal thermometer, right by the lunch line. So right where all kids passed during the day, they would see the school-wide total and compared that to the goal. So they had a lot of buy-in.
Hi, my name is Steve Brostowitz and I'm a teacher in transitional kindergarten, and first grade. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to maintain positive energy for your classroom management in kindergarten. Well, the main thing you have to do is change your mindset. A lot of us are raised with scripts where it's kids are just supposed to know what to do, or you should know better than that, or how many times do I have to tell you, or I told you that last week. When it's a punitive-based process or a punitive-based procedure, we tend to create resentment in our classroom and fear in our classroom. Whereas if we tend to focus on the positive and reward children for doing the right thing, and specifically telling children what the right thing is, then we create a positive climate in our classroom, an atmosphere of togetherness, of teamwork, and kids are rewarded for the good things they do, not only talked to when they do something wrong. So, the other important thing you have to have once you change your mindset is to have the structures in place that are going to help you do that. If you operate on a demerit system, then you're waiting for kids to slip up and then you give them a check for doing wrong. If you operate on a reward system, you might have a chance jar. And here's a couple chance jars from some different classes in our school. And here, when you catch kids being good, you say, go pick a chance ticket. And then later in the day, you have a chance drawing. And you could give out 100 chance tickets in a day and continually reward that positive behavior. And at the end of the day, you might only pull 3 chance tickets and give out 3 prizes. So you gave lots of reinforcement, but it's not going to hit you hard in the bank when you only have to give out 3 prizes. And it's not always tangible things. You might have a good work cone, and you find the table that's working well, and the kids just want to get praise from their teacher. You might go on a sticker system, and kids get to pick a sticker when they do something well. So here's the sticker box, and it's John, go pick a sticker, or Mary, go pick a sticker. And kids get to go do that. It's pretty cost effective, and again, you pointed out the positive things they're doing. Another thing to do is set up a system where kids are working together to try and win a certain award, or maybe extra free time, or perhaps lunch with the teacher. And with that, you could go by tables. You could have table points. Here's table 1, and let's say they had 3 points in a day, and table 2, they were following all your expectations, and they're up to 5 points. And you could have this posted publicly. The table points could be something that is sophisticated, and they could pick their team name, or it could just be fly-by-night. You could put it on the board in a moment's notice and have kids working together to try and outdo the other team on good behavior. For individuals who need something a little bit more specific to them, you might have an individual chart. So here's an example of an individual chart. And for this student, they need more frequent reinforcement. So once they get 4 stars, they've earned their break. And you could even go as far as to chart out the day for every activity you're doing. And when that particular student who needs a lot of reminders, a lot of structure, a lot of reinforcement, every time they do something well, maybe it's for a 5-minute span, a 10-minute span, they get that check mark as far as they did a good job. And if they don't do a good job, you redirect them towards the next activity. Hey, you didn't do everything you were supposed to at PE, but next time at English, you could earn that next smiley face.
You have to look the person in the eye and you say a greeting that is nice, just like Daniel said earlier. Millionaire,
When you get to school at the breakfast, you walk in and stop and say good morning.
Very good. You have to stop and say good morning to all the people that you run into. And that's what makes a good greeting. This morning, many of you came into my classroom and showed me a great greeting. Today, I'd like to give Spencer. Great greeting today, Spencer. Come on up. Take your token. And let's give him a hand. Nice greeting today, Spencer. Thank you. You may go ahead and have a seat, and we'll attach that to your backpack a little bit later.
If you see a friend in the hallway, to be respectful, what you would do in the hallway is you would smile and wave. Can everyone try that? Smile and wave when you see a friend in the hallway.
Hi, Mrs. Alvarez. I love your pants.
Hey, we're both wearing dragon shirts.
I'll give you a call later.
Okay.
Okay. We have to read the book together, remember?
Okay. How did we do, boys and girls? Smile and wave.
Está aquí en mantente respetuoso. Voces calladas, saluden y sonrían.
Okay.
I will care for myself and others.
I will care for myself and others. I will care for property.
I will be safe.
I will do my best.
I will do my best.
I will build community.
I will build community.
Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Mrs. Roy.
Be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. Mantente seguro, mantente respetuoso y mantente responsable.
We are people of character. We are respectful. We are responsible. We care. We are respectful. We are responsible. We care.
Once we identified the problem areas, we had to come up with a method for solving the problems. Teachers told us specifically the idea of respect, the idea of tardiness, that those were problematic. They were open to learn how to do it, but they did need some sort of instruction on how to teach the students. So as a committee, we developed a plan before the students arrived in the building for the fall to break the staff up into smaller groups where we gave them instructional packets, giving them ideas on how to implement in their classroom the different expectations. And I think by changing rules to expectations, by changing punishment to positive, those are two of the major things of doing the right thing in PBIS.
What happens in non-classroom areas of the school, we know that that impacts other areas of the school. We know it impacts the classroom. We know it impacts the climate of the whole school. Typically, non-classroom areas are problems because we have unclear expectations, we don't have adequate procedures, we don't have a system of rewards or consequences that all the teachers can use. Most importantly, though, we have not taught the expectations to our students. When we put this school-wide instruction in place, school-wide language, we have discovered that about 80% of the students in typical schools respond really well to that. We can prevent a lot of behavior problems and improve the behavior and get some really nice outcomes for children. There's still work to do with another 15 or 20% of the students with individual interventions and with specific, sometimes, placements for kids, but we can prevent a lot of behavior problems. When we're all speaking the same language, it's really powerful.
She was the child with the big target on her forehead. She was definitely the victim of bullying. PBIS strategies have changed my daughter 100%. She went from being probably the most difficult child in the school, possibly the district, to being a role model and a peer model in her school.
I am a 9 through 12 social studies instructor at CAM High School, and I am also one of the PBS coaches. This is our 4th year of PBS, and we have taught what we call the Cougar traits to our students. We have used various methods. The method we talked about or we used today was using seniors to talk to some of the lower kids. It's very critical that you get the right mix of kids. The kids that they're going to keep their respect and are respected in the school do a wonderful job. Your student council leaders, your football captains, the kids that are very active in the school setting.
I am one of the coaches for the PBS team here at the high school. We started this process about 4 years ago. As the counselor, it has made the environment more stable for the at-risk kids. As a classroom teacher, it has cut down on disruptions in the classroom and more education is going on. It has made the school much more pleasant for visitors and families to come in. It has been a huge help for us. We spend the first day of school usually between an hour to 2 hours, depending on the type of activity we do to teach the traits, teaching the traits. And in office time, that has probably saved hundreds of hours in referrals. It has saved valuable class time because the kids are not getting sent out of class. It has just made everything more pleasant.
I can't imagine being a principal in a school that doesn't have it, especially a middle school where the students, it's such an important time for them to learn what's expected and to begin to mature into areas where, you know, they need to know how to behave in different situations.
Just keep in mind, and I'm going to go through some specific behaviors. Treat the bus as a classroom with maybe a little bit less or more relaxed atmosphere. All right? Anything you would not do in a classroom, don't do on the bus. Does that make sense?
I like the way Freddie is sitting with bubble in his mouth, crisscross hand raised. So I'm going to call on Freddie. Freddie, what?
The PBIS program has made a good change. It's definitely enlightened the students to the reality that there is a reward for positive behavior, and it is worth achieving. Also, something that's been real important is the child assisting the other child, going, wait a minute, don't you have a better choice? Coming from a peer scenario.
We'll show if you are happy, clap your hands.
One of our major focuses there in the middle school scenario was more into being positive citizens and in our hopes of avoiding things like bullying, trying to get the kids to, how can I say this, experience the positive energy and helping each other versus being negative and coming up with negative thoughts.
And even begin to tell you the changes my daughter experienced once she was in a positive behavioral support type of system. It was almost instant. Within 3 weeks, she went from being a defiant, angry, untrusting child to being open to social interaction, engaging, empathetic to other people.
I find it's critical that our public schools have a component of social, emotional, and behavioral learning for our children because schools go beyond academics. It goes into relationships, citizenship.
My goal is to be nice to my friends.
If we were to show the students the gains that could be received by them from assisting others, from putting a more positive spin on things, well, wouldn't that be better for the whole campus?
If my child were not in a school right now that used positive behavioral supports, I fully believe that she'd be in the juvenile justice system, and more than likely in a JJAP type of program where she was incarcerated. And now they're using positive behavioral supports, and her turnaround was immediate. She has a very bright future. She can do anything and go anywhere, and she believes she can. And she's told daily that she can.